What is wrong with this picture? Is this what politics today have become? Today, global politics feels more like a circus than a system meant to protect people. Hi, my name is Dani, and my 7-word statement is, letting the voiceless have a turn too. I chose this statement because I think our world focuses way too much on who has the most power. We usually listen to the people with the most power or the biggest audience, but that means a lot of great ideas from regular people just get ignored. I want to look at how we lost the pure idea of politics, which is what Aristotle wanted it to be, and how we can implement these ideas in our modern world to change it for the better. I want people to know why it's so important to start listening to everyone again and not just make decisions that only benefit oneself. Aristotle once said, "Man is by nature a political animal," which means that humans only reach their full potential in a community led with virtue and wisdom. He believed in polis, a theory where a statesman isn't a career seeker, but someone representing the common good to achieve eudaimonia, which means community happiness. In this situation, every group has a role in governance to ensure that everyone has a say. Aristotle warned that if any group was left out, the map of reality becomes incomplete and the system turns into corruption. I'm not sure Aristotle would think very highly of global politics today. Instead of a shared thirst for virtue, our leaders see more focus on their own image than the people they serve. It feels like the common good has been replaced by whatever looks best on a screen. There are many political theorists today who study the shift. One theorist, Murray Edelman, describes today's politics as a symbolic spectacle, where statesmanship is traded for performance. His research shows that politics has become a permanent campaign, keeping governments in election mode year-round and blurring the line between governing and campaigning. In my opinion, I agree with Aristotle that we should all have a say. But for me, that idea was made for a city, and not like the modern world we have now, which is much more complex than ancient Greece. I think that we should give the people in our world who have less of a voice a bigger one to ensure that everyone is heard. Granted, some people may have some insane ideas, but what if we're potentially ignoring some great ones that could change countries for the better? I want world leaders to stop using their power for self-gain. Stop acting like they're listening and actually do it, to better ensure a society where your voice is heard to and listened by people in power. They should not only do this to the people that voted them in, but the people who didn't, to ensure that at least they have some say. And this applies to anybody in leadership positions. It is time to start listening before acting. But to be completely honest, do we actually listen to others in our everyday lives? If I'm being honest, we all fall short sometimes. After all, who doesn't want to listen to the loudest voices? It's so easy to just nod along with the most popular person in the room because it's comfortable or because you want to fit in. But the loudest voice in the room isn't always the right one. I know there have been times where I stayed quiet and let a louder voice take over, even when I knew a quieter friend had a better point. There are many times in my life where a friend or a classmate had the perfect solution to a problem, but they were ignored, simply because they weren't the most popular in the room. I'll admit, sometimes I may not listen to other people. An example of this is how I talk to my sister.
Mommy, I like to color in books. Can you pick one for me?
Sure.
Once, we went to a ziplining place during a trip. I told her, let's do the long way. But she told me no, and that it was going to take too long. I didn't listen. When we were around halfway done, I missed the jump, and I held the rope as I fell. All the skin in my fingers ripped off, and I had to go off right after I finished the jump. This connects to my 7-word statement because it shows how the quieter voices in our everyday lives deserve a chance to be heard too. When we only care about who wins or who loses, we end up with the symbolic spectacle that Murray Edelman talked about. We trade real solutions for performance, and the common good gets lost in all the noise. If we keep letting the loud crowds drown everyone else out, we're never going to solve big problems that are waiting for us in the future. If we gave everyone a fair turn to speak and listen, we can move closer to the polis that Aristotle dreamed of. We should stop the noise competition and start making sure that a good idea matters, no matter who it comes from. And it starts from us listening more. By making sure everyone has a seat at the table, we can finally stop the noise competition and focus on real solutions. It's about making sure that the map of reality is actually complete, instead of leaving it blank. If we start valuing the public's opinion, we might finally create a community that works for everyone. Listen to them to ensure a better future where everyone is heard to for the greater good. Thank you.